And
which means, well, why are you dancing?
And I think what it comes down to for me, and of course that's the difference between people that are good dancers that just learn the dance, the step, as opposed to a true Balboa dancer. And I think that is kind of like what you just harped on, is the fact that unless you've been initiated and you've earned that initiation of that feeling, you won't have that appreciation and say it's not boring. And I just, that's myself. And I think once you've gotten to that point where you feel, and it's not just, it's so beyond just doing a step and doing it well to the beat. It's like you said, it's almost impossible to describe.
Well, one of the things about partner dancing in general is when you're dancing with somebody, you can sort of feel the way they're feeling the music a little bit, in the connection, the tension. And one is about partner dancing versus solo dancing, is you have that, it's a way of sharing the music with somebody else that is better than any way of doing it, unless you're a musician playing with other musicians. I mean, I think that's probably the peak. But short of that would be dancing. And I graduated from high school in '62, and my generation that killed partner dancing. That's when the twist came out in
All right,
all the '60s, early '70s. You didn't see partner dancing in mainstream America. Country and western places, maybe the southeast, with shag and stuff, but it just disappeared. And I think people that come back now that realize what they've been missing with partner dancing. Well, Balboa, you're right next to each other, and you feel how your partner is feeling the music, and it's kind of unique. Balboa is a unique dance in my mind. Yeah.
I think I know the answer, but in today's swing scene across the country, there's Carolina Shag and Texas Push and hand dancing and East Coast Swing,
Right.
and West Coast Swing Lindy. Would you consider pure bow another form of swing, or is it a wholly different dance?
A little bit of both. Number one, swing dancing is done to swing music as a rule, or at least was. Balboa was earlier than that. It was done to jazz and then swing. So Balboa, yeah, I would call it a swing. I call it jazz dance. I would think you could do jazz Balboa. I've never seen it done all the way to bebop, up to a point where jazz stopped being dance music. And there's a dance that was done on the East Coast called shag. Not the shag you guys probably know.
Carolina Shag?
Not Carolina shag and not collegiate shag. It was an 8-count shag that I saw done in Baltimore, but it used to be done in the 30s all up and down the East Coast. And it's sort of reminiscent of Balboa. Shag had a hopping, kicking style. But the basic step, step, step kick, you know. By the way, that's what some people told me. It was a basic 1, 2, 3 kick. Well, I never saw any men kick ever, Balboa dancers. To answer your question, I would consider it a swing dance because it's suitable for swing dancing. In fact, one of the things I think Balboa is especially good for is jazz and swing in general at all tempos, from below 100, like 80 beats a minute, all the way up to as fast as you can dance, over 360, and it would be Balboa. I think that's one reason Balboa sort of took off in Peter's generation, is because you could just dance so fast on Balboa. And I think it was the fact that it was a speed dance that attracted a lot of the really good competition Lindy Hop dancers.
Any other questions by chance?
Peter yesterday said, also Friday, that there were in the 30s a lot of other dances that look similar to Balboa.
Mm-hmm.
And why nowadays Balboa seems to be the only one who survived among those dancers and spreading all over?
Yeah, I can answer that a little bit. One of the dances I was interested in, besides Balboa, was shag. And I talked to people in the 30s about dancing down here. And they were all telling me when they were teenagers, they would dance the shag. In fact, some of them danced shag before they danced Balboa. And, but they didn't dance it themselves. You're 65 years old, you're not gonna step, 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 kick, kick. But Balboa, you can keep going. So one of the reasons is Balboa, you can dance right into your 80s and 90s. If you're able to do more than use a walker. You can probably Balboa through walking. I think one thing is conducive to dancing fast music, if you want it, or medium tempo, longer in your life. Shag dancers, people tell me, yeah, we did shag, and I was interested in it. This is before Peter sort of analyzed what shag was, but I looked at some stuff. There were no films that I found of shag. And people would, they talk about it, but they couldn't do it themselves anymore. They weren't physically able to do it. Now, there are other dancers that were done. Shag was done in closed position, to fast music. Camel hop, I think was, well, camel hop, was that a closed position dance?
Could have been.
Could be. There were other dances. Now, at what point does foxtrot become Balboa or shag or Charleston, which was in closed position? I don't know. At some point, you draw a line. And with Balboa dancers, there were so many styles, like I say, of Balboa, different ways of doing it. One thing I'll say about Balboa, it's not a step pattern. Step, step, hold, step, 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 hold, step. Is not what makes Balboa Balboa. It's not a step so much as it's a style. It's a way of moving your feet, staying in a conservative, upright, smooth way with your feet